What's up, fam? It's the broke capitalist coming at you. Real quick rant on a Monday. If you're looking at this channel when you're looking at me now, at the time of release, which is I think December the 5th, you're probably already aware of the Twitter files. And I had the pleasure of being on I guess what you can call a conference call with Elon Musk, talking about the release of the Twitter files. And I'll just say, wow. I I was skeptical about Mr. Musk's ultimate ambitions and goals when it came to the acquisition of Twitter. And I just thought, well, you can't stop technology. If you don't do it, somebody else will do it. And what I'm talking about is just like turning Twitter into some type of all-encompassing application where you can upload videos, pay bills, do everything kind of like a WeChat, and eventually probably hook up to the neural net like 10 years, 20, 30 years down the line. You guys can correct me in the comments. I know of one instance by the Rust brothers way back in the early 1900s where a piece of technology was so disruptive that the creators decided not to release it. And that has something to do with agriculture, right? So other than that, man, technology is just going to go. So you just got to be prepared for it. But what I got out of that call, Elon seemed to be very genuine. I mean, he took questions from all comers. There was like 101,000 people on this call. And he took questions from, people, most people would recognize. I ain't trying to ask him a question, but the capability to ask the question was there. And if you haven't heard the transcripts, I believe you can get the transcripts online somewhere. He was fully transparent. And one of the things I was really concerned about, as you may know, is shadow banning on the platform. First and foremost, because shadow banning, if you can suppress content, you can elevate content. And we know that, well, we don't have the hard facts yet, but everyone knows that certain content has been suppressed and other content elevated, either directly by social media platforms or social media platforms are manipulated by third parties with bots and things like that. And the social media platforms know of this and do nothing to stop it, right? So his response to that question was he's looking into it, been on the job less than 30 days. It is a concern, but his primary concern was getting rid of the child pornography on the site. And I applaud him for that. He has my support on that 1,000%. I mean, that is priority number one. Another concern I had was the government portal, that directly links the U.S. government to Twitter. This portal was, I guess you could say, discovered through not deposition, but a discovery phase of a lawsuit against the state of Massachusetts, the Secretary of State of Massachusetts, and Twitter and some other characters versus Dr. Shiva. You guys go look that up online. It's probably one of the most important First Amendment lawsuits ever in the history of the United States. Twitter is right dab in the middle of it. And I was somewhat surprised when someone brought this case up that Elon was not more familiar with the case itself. Now, this guy's doing some of everything. I mean, sending rockets to the moon, buying Twitter, building a tunnel under LA, making flamethrowers, I don't know, selling chicken on the corner somewhere. This dude, he's doing everything. So I can't, okay, he don't know all the ins and outs of the case, but if I'm buying a $44 million billion-dollar purchase, and there's a direct threat to it in form of a lawsuit, I would pay attention to that. But hey, I'm not a billionaire, so maybe I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But anyway, he said he would look into the government portal and see, if it's something that's legal currently, but shouldn't be legal. He would act to make it illegal, if you get what I'm saying. So he wouldn't outright say, oh, there's a direct portal from the United States government to Twitter where actors of the government can go to Twitter directly via email and say, hey, suppress this content. And then people in Twitter would be like, oh, we got a request from so-and-so and so at .gov, so we need to suppress this information, or cancel this account, close it, suspend it, whatnot. He didn't say, that's outrageous, I'm going to ban it as soon as I get off this call. He was like, hey, I don't know enough about it, but what I do want to say is, I'm paraphrasing, credibility is his main focus, besides getting rid of child porn, right? He wants Twitter to be a source for real news, not a narrative. And if government, either Republican or Democrats, gets the ring that controls them all, right? This ability to shape a narrative through social media, he doesn't want that done on Twitter. And I'm paraphrasing again, if he's able to pull this off, more and more people will start to see how disingenuous mainstream and legacy media is, along with the Facebooks, this platform, Amazon, how disingenuous they are, or how they only allow one narrative to flourish, and they suppress anything that contradicts that narrative, which leads me into the next part of this. Altruism. I understand a lot of people don't know what that word means, but it's up on the screen here. An unselfish concern for the welfare of others. Selflessness. What could be wrong with that? Well, in general, nothing. However, there are people who weaponize this against you. And a lot of you guys will recognize this right off. I say it all the time. There's a certain political party that is a master at weaponizing altruism. Just consider this. How many people do you think voted for Joe Biden in the last election because of his policies? I'll wait. 1 out of 10, 1 out of 100? No. Either you were scared of the orange man and didn't know anything about his policies, right? And why were you scared? Because of the manipulation of the mass media and social media. Or you're not really scared, but you felt that you should do everything you could do to be an advocate or a protector for those who couldn't protect themselves. And I'm talking about white liberal women, right? The Democratic Party, as they do all the time and have been doing, weaponize altruism. And the spear at the tip of that weapon is my community, my racial community. I definitely don't believe in what I want to say here, group ideology. I believe in judging people based on the content of their character, their value system, and their belief system. I don't care what race you are. However, admittedly, that's a little bit of heavy lifting, right? It's easier to just judge people based on the way they look. That's so easy. But what the Democratic Party has been doing, because they don't have any policies that make any sense, right? None. They just don't. It's either we're going to protect, they create a boogeyman and then swear they're going to protect you from the boogeyman. That's their policy. They can't tell you that because then you wouldn't vote for them. So they got to trick you. So this is what their altruism is leading to. This guy could possibly be the next president of the United States. He's the governor of the communist state of California. And there's a panel, California panel, estimates $569 billion in reparations is owed to Black residents of California. And if you want to know how that breaks down, that is about $223,200 each for each Black resident. Now, will this pass? I'm on the fence. Now, at face value, you're looking at this and probably looking at me and saying, Andre, you must be out your mind. There's no way that they're going to be able to legally pass this. And I would agree with you in the short term. Like, if you're just looking at it at face value, it's like, how you going to even, first of all, California didn't even have, it wasn't even a slave state. And then you're going to have people who become residents, like moved here 2 years ago, and then boom, they hit the jackpot. They get almost $250 million. I don't see that happening. I don't even have to read the article. Sorry, normally I do. But I'm going off of this headline, so you guys can read the article. Admittedly, I'm saying I haven't read the article, so no backlash there. But this isn't the first time I've seen this. About 6 months ago, there was another headline talking about, California is considering reparations for Black people, blah, blah, blah. And then a couple of months after that, San Francisco is going to give out UBI or something like that to trans people who are down on their luck. So I don't know, man. This could happen. Why would it happen? I can tell you how it would happen. Use your altruism against you, right? Oh, you didn't have to go through, being followed in a store. You didn't go to these horrible schools. If you went to those horrible schools, maybe you wouldn't be as successful as you are, and then you feel guilty. A person who feels guilty about how they earned their money will soon lose it. And so this gets passed. You don't have to individually vote for this in their democracy, right? You voted for representatives who are all woke, and they'll pass this thing through, right? Then what happens? Okay, Andre gets a whole bunch of money. I'll tell you what Andre gonna do. Convert it to gold. Peace, I'm out. Because the apple you just bought today costs $1,000 as soon as everybody get their checks, right? Inflation. So I know this. I'm a fairly educated guy. But you could be a sixth grader and figure this out. You dump all this money into an economy with no new production. It's inflation. Why would they knowingly inflate the dollar out of existence? Because they want to. Biden has, I should have put it in here, but Biden has already signed back in March of this year, some of you guys know this, executive order to get some crypto dollar currency rolling in America. All right, that's a broad general subject that deserves its own podcast. So I'm not going to go into that. But they've already set it up to have this cryptocurrency replace the physical dollar. And I ain't talking about Bitcoin. So everybody holding Bitcoin, here's a big warning to you. It's called legal tender laws. And if the Fed rolls out a federal coin, which they are currently doing, and they stamp legal tender law on it, you have to accept it in all transactions. You have to. Guess what you can't do? You can't compete with that. So you won't be able to use Bitcoin in transactions. It will be illegal. It's just like me trying to get, I'm trying to buy, what's in here? I'm trying to buy this cup at a store. And it costs $20. So I give them a 20 physical United States, well, Federal Reserve banknote of $20, right? The person on the other end has to accept that. It's legal tender. Now, what if I give them a Japanese that'd be 2,000 Japanese yen? No. You don't have to accept that. You can be like, dude, get the hell out of here. I don't have to accept that. What if I gave them and I'll be a fool to do it, a greenback, right? This is United States currency, a greenback from way back in the day, right? You don't have to accept that. If I'm not mistaken, you don't have to accept that. It's no longer legal currency. It's an artifact. It's worth tons of money now, right? You don't have to accept. I wonder if you have to accept a gold coin. I don't think you have to accept that either, honestly. A U.S. minted gold coin, not for debt. I don't think he has to accept it. But what my point is, if or when the U.S. goes to a cryptocurrency, all debts will be paid in cryptocurrency. Your Bitcoin, you can't use it. You can't compete. It'll be illegal. Anyway, hopefully you guys get something out of this today. Hopefully you guys spread this around. Hopefully you guys are doing okay. And hopefully you guys are preparing for what's coming, right? It's going to get a lot worse before it gets a lot better. And hopefully on the other side of this, we'll come out all right because we're prepared and we're in the know. So what you need to do is prepare others so that they'll be in the know. I don't see how this stops. I honestly don't. I really don't. We may push it back some, put it on hold. I think that's what the orange man did, Trump. He put this stuff on hold. He pushed back. He was holding the dam, for 4 years. And they nope, got to go, dude. You ain't getting in office. We got to roll this thing out. Next thing, what happens? Wars everywhere. We pumping money everywhere. Ukraine, everywhere else, right? Your cost of living is going down, down, down because inflation is going up, 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 and they're going to create a situation which they've done in history, throughout history. They're going to create a situation so miserable. The average person will be so miserable that the average person will reach out for the ready-made solution. And that ready-made solution is more control over your life. I hate to be a Debbie Downer on a Monday, but hey, man, that's the world as we know it. So please share this video, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and check out some of the books on the website, www.brokecapitalist.com. And peace. I'm out.